Hey, it's Sam here, welcome back to the channel. We're in Bodyworks gym today and it's going to be a full arms workout, starting on biceps and really concentrating on biceps. Then after that we'll have a chat about a few topical things like this men's wellness business that's been doing the rounds and you guys was asking me about, and just wrap up on bodybuilding generally. So I'm going to get my pre-workout and then get ready. Just admiring some of the best photos they got up here while I have my pre-workout and wait for a nice little bro buzz to kick in. They got loads of British guys, like loads of Dorian up here, but it's going to be less the back, like Mr. Yates, and more of the arms today. Just get this done. Now I'm starting today on the Hammer Strength MTS bicep curl machine. I've been looking forward to doing this in particular because of my experience at Definition Gym Peterborough from the Saturday video, where I used a piece a bit like this and got more focus on the biceps and took the forearms out by gripping it lower down on my hand, just supporting it. So kind of not gripping it properly, weirdly. I felt it more on the biceps. So I've been keen to try this exercise again to see if that connection transfers over to here. It may work well for you anyway, as your choice for that kind of breech curl angle with the elbow in front. But I had this particular reason for trying this first, so that's going to be my first exercise on biceps today. Now with all these where you exercise the arms separately, I'd recommend that you do the first set of each pair on your weaker side, so your pressure on the weaker side that needs to catch up. So I'm starting with my left arm. I'm holding it like this as I just described, but that may not be necessary for you. I'm going a bit heavier than usual. The stack goes up to 50 and I've got it on 40 here, so set one. Here we go. And on the right. And that was actually under control enough that I'm confident and happy to increase it to the full stack, just 10 kilos extra on each side. So we're on 50 on each side for set 2 now. Starting with the left again. As always, with these sorts of the machines, get your elbow or the knee joint as applicable in line with the mechanism, otherwise you'll slip and you won't maintain tension on the muscle. Set 2. And right. So a little bit low, kind of falling out the bottom of the rep range that I would desire for an exercise like this now. So I am actually going to take 5 kilos, 1 notch off each stack for my third set. I want to keep these sorts of exercises a bit more strict than some of my others. And arms is really a focus for me. Being long-limbed, it requires an individual arm stay. That's not going to be necessary for everyone. Set 3. And last one, nasty close up. Get some force negatives on this last one. And the right. I'm really happy. That felt exactly how I hoped. I've learned something new at the weekend for biceps, so if you've got long forearms like me, try that very strange grip on there like that for these kind of exercises where you can't adjust how far away the hand grip is to where your elbow needs to be in line with the machine. Anyway, next bicep exercise. For variety, my next exercise is going to be one where the elbow's behind the body, which focuses on the outer head of the biceps rather than the inner, which the previous angle focused on. And I'm going for the very low incline bench by dumbbell curl, which I took straight from Delavier Workout 2 book that I reviewed the other day. So that's worth checking out if you want a primer on training for sure. Set 1 here. Seriously overheating from this. I've got 2 rank tops on. Get rid of one. But I'm going to try a touch heavier on that exercise. You really don't need to go heavy, so I'm going up from 12.5s to 15s just to see how it feels like. But if I'm not getting the same feeling or the reps are too low, I'll be switching back. Set 2, here we go. In the old days, what they used to do is have like offset dumbbells for that exercise. So they'd have the screw on weight plates, and they'd have less on the outer side and more on the inner side for some of these biceps exercises like the incline cut, like this one. Because one of the roles of the biceps is to supinate the wrist, that's turn it that way, as well as flex at the elbow. So they were trying to put more resistance into making that turn as you would curl like that. Never really see that done nowadays. It's one of those very kind of like fiddly little things that people have given up on, but a little piece of trivia for you today, that's what they used to do. Set 3 then. Oh. Now that we've done the fiddly stuff on those specific angles, I feel like throwing a bit more weight around it. As the biceps are pre-exhausted by those strict ones first, it'll hit the biceps first, doing kind of cheat curls with the dumbbells. So last time I did this, I was doing the 30s. So I'm going to return to those, see if that's possible as the third exercise. And obviously I'm using my biceps as much as possible, but if these end up swinging a bit, it's no matter. Here we go, set 1. And set 2 again with the 30s. Now, that was a few less reps than last time, but I've done more bicep stuff in front this time, so they're loving it. So I'm very keen to show you all angles on a lot of these muscle groups. And really the last missing thing in this biceps sequence here would be something hammer grip or reverse grip, which really brings in the forearms and brachioradialis. Less of a focus for me, because the forearms have got a bit out of control compared to my upper arms. So I'm not going to kick the arse out of this, but I'm going to include it just to show you really. It's really nice finisher on a straight barbell to do your reverse curls. So, set 1. You get all 4 of those angles on biceps, something in front, something behind, something straight, something hammer or reverse, and you feed it, you're going to get bigger biceps. I promise you. I put an inch on mine, my upper arm anyway, since the last time I competed, and it's really been due to the focus of getting all angles on a separate arm stay for biceps and triceps. So give it a go. Set 2. Now I'm just going to do the 3 sets on this one because this angle's the least priority and what I don't want to include so much in the bicep workouts. But if you didn't have the forearms outgrowing the upper arm, you could do 4 or 5 sets on here and maybe not even leave it till last. I'll just do my last one here and then we'll move on to triceps. Look. Yeah, that's a really good bicep pump for sure. Already this is turning into the best arms workout I've had for ages, just to feel that. I feel like I'm going to do those exercises in those kind of ways, in that order for biceps again for sure. Really like that, and I like the discovery with that hammer strength piece where if I hold it differently it's kind of getting it just right with my long forearms. It's turning into a great workout for biceps, and now I'll move on to triceps. Speaking of which, I didn't comment on this painting just yet of Jay Cutler there. He's a legend, guys. The only one to lose it and win it back again. And how good was he in 2009? But that particular exercise recruits the triceps a lot, especially if you're quite upright on it. So definitely a great compound exercise that brings in triceps massively. But I'm going to start here with some overhead, like cable rope extensions. Set 1. Heavier. That genuinely felt so light. I'm going to have to put the full stack on to see if it's enough, otherwise I'll have to find a different exercise in future for this angle in this gym. Set 2. Honestly, this is a bit of a exercise mishap, but the problem I've got is the adjustable pulleys. That's the only stack, you know, of all the pulleys, that's the only adjustable one for getting in the right place for that exercise. So now I'm 2 sets in, I think I'll just finish the 3rd set on 20 reps, but want to rethink in future for me. Yeah, set 3 then. Always figuring out what I'm doing in different places, but what I've learned here is that in this gym, for that angle on triceps, it's going to have to be like a dumbbell French press or similar. Yeah, so seeing that painting of Jay doing the dips has made me in the mood to try and locate the dips in this place. I'm pretty sure they're up here on the mezzanine floor, so let's take the bro's eye view and see what we find. I'm pretty sure they're up here. Yeah, here we go. Let's see what we can do up here. So this is the one that I found up here, and actually slightly disappointed. I thought they had another one that's got the really thin handles, so I don't know quite how I'm going to get on. If it's really bad, I might switch to something else that's similar, because we've got a really good dipper at my other regular gym zone, which has got the thick handles, and I like doing the weighted dips with the belt, but I'm not seeing any belt or chains up here either, so I think for that kind of thing it's going to be all about getting to zone, but I'm at least going to try it while I'm here. So set one. Oh, it's kind of slippy. Come contest season, when I'm concerned about my abs again, it'll be all about this sort of thing, you know, lower abs or knee raises if you can't get the legs straight doing it because it's too heavy. Pretty good lower abs exercises. But now I'm up here, I'll do another set of this and then just look for something else, because it's just too slippy on the little handles. I feel like I'm slipping off before I'm knackering the triceps properly, so not optimal for me, but a good exercise when you can find a kit that you like for it. Hands are like slipping outwards, so we'll move on. Yeah, sorry about this. If it sounds like I'm talking shit on all the equipment in here, that's not how it's meant to be at all. I love this place, but I just, well, it's my fault because I'm not well practiced enough in all the stuff that's in here to know what's best for me automatically. So, not so great on the triceps today, and the reason I've been all over the place is these gym tours. So if you really want to see the best hardcore gyms in London and the south of England and all over the place, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm carrying on with that series, and that's where I'm showing you all the best gyms and a tour of the kit that they've got inside there. I'm really keeping that series up and focusing on it now. So that's the self-promotion over, and now I do absolutely know for sure that, just seen someone I know waving there, I do know for sure this is heavy enough. This is a heavy stack they got here, so let's go for it. It's an exercise I probably don't need to explain because we all know it and love it, don't we? The old triceps pushdowns. Yeah, that's definitely heavy enough. Right, for the next set I can only get a touch heavier than that. We do like 2 more notches. Set 2, guys, nearly there. Then we'll go and settle in and wrap up on some of the more amusing bodybuilding topics doing the rounds at the minute. last set now, and I've been loving the drop sets on these, so it's kind of 4 sets. That's my excuse anyway. Here we go. Right, the moment of truth. See what I'm looking like after being ill for a few days and missing some food, but already I feel like the right sort of rag top makes you look way bigger than you actually are, so it'd be tragic to take this off, but I want to see what I'm looking like. Look a touch tighter from missing meals, I think. Enough of that. I'll put it away and go and get some refreshments somewhere nearby for this bodybuilding chat. Basically, the place that I was looking for food is closed. I'm not sure their opening times, but next door they did say that they'd do me like extra chicken and stuff, but they're closed. So I want to sit down and have something prepared to play catch up on this diet that I've been remiss on while I've been a little bit under the weather the last couple of days. So I'm going to head down the street and look for somewhere that can do some kind of chicken sheesh or something. If you're in an emergency and want lean protein and you're in inner London, that's kind of like your go-to, or like some nice Turkish place that can do you a box of mixed lamb and chicken with rice or whatever. You usually find that there are options on the move, so we'll see what we can find and get into the chat portion of today's video, and then we'll be back tomorrow with something else, quite possibly legs, which I'm looking forward to now that I know that I can hack squat again. But depending on the time I record it, that will sort of dictate what gym I end up in, because I like it when I don't feel like I'm getting in people's way in somewhere where it's going to be super busy at certain times. So that's the strategy here. So I'm all salted with a large lamb sheesh and a bit of garlic sauce there, so I'm catching up real good. But that was a decent workout, especially for biceps. Like biceps was really good, and then triceps, you know, a couple of errors on my part, and then was decent by the time I was on the pushdowns, so I can work with that. So what this whole like men's wellness thing is all about is people saying that they've invented a new category called men's wellness. So like wellness is one of the women's categories where it's like, if you didn't know this stuff, right, if you don't follow the competitions of bodybuilding, wellness is basically like a women's category like bikini, but you know, in layman's terms, a bigger bum and bigger legs. That's basically what it is. And it kind of like got popular in South, like basically Brazil. It got popular there, and then it was adopted as a category. Anyway, the story doing the rounds is that there's now like a men's wellness category. I haven't looked into it properly, but as far as I can tell, it's not quite like that. As in, like the IFBB and the NPC aren't making it a new category. It's just some different show, some different federation somewhere in Brazil had that category because they had one man who developed his body like a woman who does the wellness category, and rather than mix him in with the women, they just made a separate category for him to get up there, because obviously, like, you know, got show ready and looks like a woman's body without the fake titties, basically. So I won't I won't show you the picture, but I'll basically describe it for you. It's basically if you imagine like, okay, so it's not, you know, it's not someone trans. This man identifies as a man, but he looks very androgynous and quite feminine, in that he's developed his body like a woman, has like long, well, shoulder length long blonde hair, and kind of, you can still tell it's a man's face, but it's not like super masculine, you know. So basically what I'm describing is like from behind, he looks like, you know, basically one of these girls that you guys that are like into muscle women and muscle mummy and all this kind of thing would probably hit it if you didn't know the story and who it was. Not my sort of thing, but that's what he looks like basically. He looks like an androgynous like woman with a muscle bum and legs and like shoulder length blonde hair and like a feminine looking man's face and a man's torso that's not that big and no tits. That's what it looks like, what he looks like. And rather than put him in with the women doing wellness, they just gave him a category, and it's kind of like a story that's got out of hand and is like causing outrage and amusement and stuff like that, and people thinking what's going to happen, or will it become a category? And I think, you know what, it actually could become a category, because it's like, it's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it? Like, the women's wellness got started in like South America basically, and then it became a thing, and now it's getting more popular and it's kind of spread, but it only takes one person to start a man's version, and that may spread as well. So it's like, it's just this thing. It's like, even before that, they had like pageants in like Brazil called like Miss Bum Bum, where it was like not bodybuilding per se, but just a body pageant for like women with nice bums. So this is like the next chapter in a series of things all under the same theme of like butts. So it's kind of like, you know, they're into like, you know, a big ass and BBL and like fart fetish porn and women's wellness. Well, like the next most extreme evolution of this journey is like men's wellness, and it's like, you know, one contest was featured one man like looking like this, and yeah, it could become a thing as a result. And people are thinking, well, does it make a mockery of bodybuilding categories and contests and stuff like that? And like, honestly, I don't know, because really, to most outsiders to the whole competitive side of bodybuilding, like the whole thing's kind of a bit weird anyway, as in, you know, you show any normal person like your contest pics, if you've done one of traditional categories like bodybuilding or ladies figure or something like that, and the first thing they'll comment on is like your weird spray tan or like your tiny posing trunks and stuff like that. So it's the whole, you know, really to outsiders the whole thing's seen as weird anyway, so having this creep in, like, for the outside image of the whole thing doesn't really change it that much, if I'm brutally honest, because really like competitive bodybuilding, there's this big disconnect between like competitive bodybuilding and like what people enjoy doing them in the gym, which, like, most people that are into bodybuilding in the broadest sense, they're like in the gym loving training and loving doing bodybuilding style workouts and have no dreams of competing, and the things that are weird about it anyway, like the spray tan and the tiny trunks and all this, like, would put them off ever doing that anyway. So actually, like, I would actually say, like, if you're looking at like the image of doing this as like a sport, you'd have to clean up the whole thing. You'd have to do away with the things that look silly anyway, and you'd have to, you know, have the whole thing kind of take on like a better image in general, you know. So, I mean, if you wind it right back, I think you had to do away with the 1990, I think it was in 1990, the Control Act, you know what I mean, and destigmatise like that side of things, and go back to kind of a lack of what I view as like negative aspects of the presentation, like the spray and the posing trunks and stuff like that, to like really make headway with rebranding the whole thing, and then, you know, maybe some different kinds of companies, sponsors would want to know, and you could grow the thing from there. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, as ridiculous as this story is, I don't think it really harms it that much, because I think it's kind of like dead in the water as like a mainstream sport, like, anyway. But as for my preferences, I just like the bodybuilding categories, and for the women, I think just ladies' figure. I feel like bikini and wellness anyway is kind of like over-sexualized, and women's physique and women's hardcore bodybuilding is kind of like too masculinized, and I sort of think the legit women's bodybuilding is like ladies' figure, in my personal subjective opinion. So for me, it should just be, for me, it'd be just bodybuilding and figure, really. And like, I like men's physique, I like a lot of those guys, but I feel like with the legs not judged and hidden, it's not really full bodybuilding, even though a lot of them have great legs. But I think what's taking people down that path is they want to avoid like this whole thing of the posing trunks, and they'd rather wear the board shorts as the posing trunks look so, you know, ridiculous to like most people outside of this, so they'd rather go with the board shorts division. That's honestly what I think it's all about. You could say, in essence, I think everyone should just like put their bum away. You know, I feel like, you know, these categories that are more about a big bum anyway, like bikini and wellness and stuff, it's kind of a separate thing, and then you wouldn't have this story, and then you wouldn't have like categories like men's physique, where many of them have got great physique, including the legs, but they're stood there in board shorts. And basically just have trunks like the original classic physique trunks before everyone started making them smaller and smaller and showing their glutes, and even though the rules say you're not supposed to, but they all do. If you just do away with all that and have kind of like posing trunks like in the golden era, and a real tan like in the golden era, and just bodybuilding and just figure, and destigmatise like everything else around it, I think that would be, you know, that would be like my ideal. But this story is, yeah, it's quite amusing, but don't be surprised if in 10 years it does become an actual category, men's wellness, because they make so many categories. Like in some federations over here in the UK, they have like, you know, women's athletic figure trained, and women's like toned figure bikini, like, you know, like loads of categories. So there'll be like 20 classes on, and it will take a day because there's got to be space for everyone, and just overcomplicate it. And is it needed? I think it's a debate that could take place. But the latest is men's wellness. It's dude. Well, quite funny. nearly finished this. It was delicious. I think with that men's wellness debacle cover, that brings me up to date on the lengthier questions I was going to tackle in the videos. But if you've got a question about anything bodybuilding and want it to feature in the chat, just pop it in the comments below. And share the channel and help me grow this thing, because it's going to need a video every day still. But I was really pleased with what I put on yesterday, the beginner's shoulder workout. It's kind of a new video concept, so I thought I'd introduce, where I'd sort of select workouts where it'd be exercises that would be safer for a beginner, someone training on their own who's a beginner, to do and just get on with it. Obviously, like less reps, lower weights most likely than what I put in the video to make it work for me, but just basically do like a video, basically do some additions of my workouts where it'll be like an exercise selection based on it being more approachable and more safe for someone who's like beginner to the gym and intimidated by the gym. And then like in my explanations over in there, take a little bit more time about explaining the setup or bits about it. There would be knowledge that I would assume most of the viewers like have. So basically most guys that come to me have been training for about 3 years or more and kind of like plateaued and want to like level up, but I know that a lot of the audience will be just starting out. So I feel like if I title these beginner ones in that way, just title them that, and then approach it in a way where I'm explaining things that I'd usually omit from usually the guys that come to me, the sort of 2 or 3 years plus experience kind of thing. Just like kind of include that in those videos and go for that kind of exercise selection. It's going to be safer. I could have like another playlist that would be like really cool to share with complete beginners when I get talking to them. Just say like rattle through this kind of thing first and you'll be okay. So that's like the latest new like video angle or video concept I've got. And then the other new one is this book review thing where I'm going to try and bring the books to life by taking you around somewhere that's relevant to the content and kind of show you the book in action, or show you what I've learned from the book in the place or with the stuff that's relevant to it. So I can see myself taking my books on nutrition and like going down to the market or into a couple of shops, or doing it in the kitchen and showing you like a recipe with it. That's what I'm going to do with the book reviews, just to make it like more engaging. So it's still going to be all of my workouts, but I can combine that with these beginner editions, and then on the rest days or extra videos I can do the book reviews or a concept, but do it in a different format that really brings it to life. So I'd really appreciate it if some of my regular viewers here share their views on that kind of approach. But that's like the 2 new kind of video concept ideas that I've got going forwards, as well as the regular stuff like my workouts explained and talked through, and Q&As, stuff like this, and the gym tours. And that about wraps up everything that I had to say today. So I hope you enjoyed the workout. I think it was really good on biceps. Hope you enjoyed a laugh about this wellness debacle, and please subscribe, please share my stuff. It helps me help more of you, and I'll be back online tomorrow. Cheers.